Right, so interestingly, before Joel turned up today, he took a sales call in the car outside my house, and came in and closed a 7K sale. And a lot of people would think, given what we do for a living, that would have come from a Facebook ad. So tell everybody about where it actually came from. Where did the lead come from?
So we sent out a box so in the marketing space, there's a guru of marketing, a real guru, not like someone on TikTok, called Dan Kennedy. And he wrote a lot of the fundamentals of marketing, and he's still alive today, but this is like a guy who's been in the game for 50, nearly 60 years now. And he has this thing called shock and awe. And what it is that if you identify a prospect, you send them a box with things of value in it that essentially puts you on the map to that company. But also it implies the rule of reciprocity. So they've received something from you. So when you talk to them, you're in a slightly more, I want to say like manipulative, but you're basically like, you're in a position of power because they know you've already given them something. Now, obviously, it totally depends on what you give them. So I've seen people send iPads and then close 50 grand sales off the back of it. In our case, we send out a box with some merch in it, like a water bottle, a book, some sweets, notepad, bits and bobs, and a brochure. And it's just a way of like, no other digital agency is doing that. It's a case of actually nobody gets post anymore. The only post you get is a bill, a pension update, or like something from the local authority. So when a parcel shows up that you don't know is coming, doesn't say Amazon on the side, it's quite intriguing. And actually, like in the digital space, going physical is smart.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell everybody what happened between the box going out and then the deal being closed today. Like, what are the touch points?
So the box goes, and they immediately fall into a funnel. So there's 12-step funnel where it's saying various things, social proof really, explaining who we are, what we do, why they were on our list, who's like them that we've worked with before, that kind of thing. But in the box there's a QR code and it says scan me, and when you scan it, it takes you to a video sales letter that just explains why they've been sent a box and what the next logical step is, and the next logical step is to book a call with me. Now the guy actually emailed as soon as he got the box, and his exact words were, "This was fucking brilliant. We've already got a marketing agency, but I want to have a chat with you because I want to understand your motivation for sending me something." He's like, "This must cost you a fortune." Jump on the call. I was like, "Wow, it costs us about 50 quid a box." Went through the motions. He's like, "Is there anything you spotted about my business that you think could be better?" You have to be a bit careful when somebody asks that, but I was like, "Well, let me just get my list." So, website performance, I'd already audited that, looked at their ads in ads library, done some background checks in what the funnel sequence was, so signed up to their lead magnet to see what I got back, saw what the delays were, things like that, and I just relayed it to him on the call and said, "These are the things that I've looked at already." And he was just like, he went pale. It was like, "How on earth have you got the time to look into that level of detail in our business?" Well, that's what we do. Like, we reverse engineer what's good and do more of it, and we look for the gaps and plug them. And he was like, "Well, I don't think we're in a position to do anything with you at the moment, but the moment something comes up, we'll be in touch." And he also said, "I don't want to put my current agency's nose out of joint." Anyway, current agency emailed me last week and say, "Website's not performing as we want. It's slow. This is happening. When we try and do an update, we get a 503 error. What's the fix?" And I was like, "Oh, there's this hosting company that's specifically for your type of website. You should contact them. They do a free migration anyway. The hosting fee is probably less than what you're currently paying, and you'll probably find most of those issues go away." And they did. So then they booked another call and said, "Well, we want to talk to you again now." Jumped on a call with me this morning and said, "We've got this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. It's a shopping list. Can you give us a ballpark on what it would cost, because we don't want to go to the expense of a brand new website?" And I was like, "Well, can I just test the assumption here? How much do you think a brand new website's going to cost?" And they said, 15 grand. So it was half that. And they're like, "Oh." And I was like, "But if I do that shopping list, it'll cost you more. So you're probably better off having a new website." And they're like, "Oh, all right then."
Brilliant.
So
Excellent. And what, like, people will probably be thinking, okay, that sounds amazing. Would love to test that out, implement it. Where is the motivation? Like, what is the right type of company coming through? Like, who are you sending these out to, and who are you more specifically not sending them out to?
who are we sending these?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second, right? Me and Joel actually work together in the same agency. It sounds like we're both employed. We own the agency together and work together. However, the Shock and All boxes is 100% you, really. Other than bouncing ideas with me on some implementation, you spearhead that 100%.
Yeah, so I built myself a plugin for LinkedIn Sales Navigator that hops on top of that. Don't tell LinkedIn, they won't be very happy. And it crawls it for service business owners who have a turnover normally between 1 million and 5 million, but we can go as low as like 500 grand if they're a scaling business. They must be owner managed. You can differentiate by how many staff they have, so we always look between 5 and 15 staff, because once you get over 15 staff, you get into the territory of board of directors, slow decision making. Under 5 staff, they probably don't have the headaches and pain points that we can relate to. And then it will give me at any given point like 100 leads to look at, and I'll have a quick skim down. Have they got a profile photo? Do they regularly post on LinkedIn? And I'll just pick 5 and be like, okay, let's dial into this a bit more, go look through their websites, and hopefully of those 5, maybe 4 are okay. Then I'll pick another 5, do the same, so I've got 10. And then pass it to the team find out their address, and we look for something on the website that relates to the person we're sending it to put a personally handwritten compliment slip just in the box about their dog or like their favourite sport, something that's just mentioned. And that's how it works. How it can also work is if someone inquires to us first, they jump on a call, and the first call is like a setting call. So it's like, let's ask lots of questions, let's give lots of value, let's see if we're a good fit. And normally they have to go away and make a decision, because if you're asking someone to invest between 17 grand and 55 grand a year, they might have to ask someone. Not necessarily, but sometimes. And if they do have to go away and think about it or ask someone, it's like, okay, can we make sure that we've got the next call booked in? Because I don't want to waste anyone's time and I don't want you to waste mine. And also, can I have your postal address because I want to send you something in the meantime? And then put the box together again, but in the handwritten note that time you reference something from the call. So last week I jumped on a call with some guy who's been referred to us by one of our clients, so pretty warm lead. And the client that's referred them actually has quite a similar business to us, so it's a pretty good sign when someone that kind of does what we do says, actually they're a better fit for you than I am. And this guy jumps on the call and he's from Blackpool. And I was like, oh right, I'm from Shrewsbury. And I was like, you're not Blackpool. He's wearing a Spurs shirt. I was like, you don't support Blackpool though, you're a Spurs fan. He was like, yeah, why? Are you a Shrewsbury fan? I was like, yeah, I'm a Shrewsbury fan. And he's like, do you know Mickey Mellon? I was like, yeah, he used to be the Shrewsbury manager, famous Scottish footballer. And I was like, he was actually one of my favourite Shrewsbury managers. He gave me a book called Legacy and told me to read it, and it's about the New Zealand All Blacks, and it's actually part of like the leadership structure in Codebreak now. I was like, but it all went a bit wrong for Mickey Mellon at Shrewsbury, didn't it? And he was like, yeah, I'm actually really good mates with him. And he's like, I said to him at the time, like, why did you leave the job you were at? And he was at Fleetwood, and he was the manager that discovered Jamie Vardy, to go to Shrewsbury. And he was like, well, if you're with a girl and you spot a fitter girl, sometimes you change girlfriends. I was like, that's a weird analogy. And then I was like, do you know about his downfall at Shrewsbury? He was like, yeah, I do, yeah. I was like, so you know who Liam Lawrence is? And Liam Lawrence, ex-Premier League footballer that played for Shrewsbury. And what happened was Liam Lawrence allegedly had an affair with the captain's wife. And so the dressing room fell apart. But the joke / fact is that Liam Lawrence is quite well endowed, and that everyone kind of was like, yeah, I don't blame her. And this guy knew the story. So I put on the compliment slip, and we're going to get this work, I think, because they've asked me to send another box to the other director. I put on the compliment slip, never have I had a sales call about Liam Lawrence's cock before.
Oh, that is unbelievable.
And that went out to one of our prospects. So
That,
that's sales.
but that was just like the conversation we had with Jace earlier about like some people would go, that's really unprofessional.
Yeah.
But is it, what's professional?
Oh, I think he will like that I'm referencing something that we talked about in the call. Mm-hmm. And he's already seen me talk in depth about like my knowledge of ads and how we would do things with his business and how I think we could help. But I also want him to know that I'm human. Mm-hmm. And I found those like really clinical relationships with clients where they just want you to be like professional, inverted commas, like why aren't you wearing a shirt? Why can I see your tattoos? Mm-hmm. Why have you shaved your head? You fucking psychopath. It never works, like because they've got that same rigidity with their clients, and so we can get them leads and they don't know what to do with the leads because they're doing this like prim proper robot thing. And when I meet the people who are like jump on a sales call on their phone, the phone's like tilted halfway round, he's wearing a Spurs shirt, and like he seems surprised to be there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good one. Because it's huge, like, you know, kids running around in the background, anything like that, it's normally a surefire sign it's going to be okay. Where the ones where it's like someone sat at their laptop in absolute silence and the background, the awkward ones, the background is always green screen. It's always like they've got fake perfect office behind them or New York skyscape. And I'm like, you live in Reading. Like, who are you trying to fool? Like, that's the Empire State Building. I can see, like, and so I just play on that. Like, I think if people listen to my call recordings, most people would want me sectioned. Like, it's, I try and pull the threads of the people's humour and like, is it something outrageous or is it something silly, or do they like a certain TV show? And then we talk about that, or if they bring up their kids, we talk about what the kids are up to or their pets. And then I'm not really going into depth about like sales or marketing. I'm just like, oh, is this a good human? Can I help them? Do they vibe off me? I know what the team's like, and part of the team's kind of built in my image. So if I pass a prospect to Martha and Martha acts like Martha, there's a high risk it could go very wrong if I pass to someone who's like prim and proper and a bit square. So I don't.
Martha, for context, Martha gives our clients not like a behind their back thing. Gives our clients actual nicknames and uses them only with our clients. Like, she gets to know them in a really in-depth way from meeting number one, vibes with them, laughs with them, but she also does the sort of like testing, like the boundaries of the humor. As well.
And sometimes she'll like push that little bit much, but I'd rather she did that than not push enough, because it applies across her personality. So that would be the same with if she's running your ads, if she's running your email funnel, if she's helping you with your sales strategy. She will push you outside of your comfort zone to get you the result. And she plays with that in her conversation with people, and it can come across like, oh, this girl's not serious, but actually it's the opposite. It's like she's inspecting your sensitivities and at the same time having fun with you, making it exciting. And the people that get it really get it. They feel like they've got a new best friend. And like the amount of people that will say to me, like, you've got to do everything you can to keep hold of her. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, she's like the most challenging member of staff I've ever had and the best. And it's like,
she's absolutely amazing.
Like, I reckon at least once a week one of us wants to kill the other one. And yet, I would run through a brick wall for that. Like, it's like, she tests me. I know she's testing me. And like, if my social battery's a bit low or I'm tired, I'm like, oh, she's fucking testing me today. But then it's like, she's making me be better. Like, she's making me be a better marketer, making me a better business owner, making me be a better leader. And like, that's rare.
No, 100%. And even like obviously running a Facebook ads, agency, number one. Facebook ads, I mean, people look at it like as like a marketing mastermind, but Facebook ads mastermind.
Is where the strategy
is like the main thing people come to us for. and we're running a workshop tomorrow in Orlando for our top tier mastermind. And I've even got Martha coming in to do a session specifically around the topic of Facebook ads because of like my level of like belief in her. I mean, there's tons of stuff that I'll go to her for just because she's working on so many different accounts. I'll be like, you ever seen this before? And she's like, yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
We totted up like the amount of spend that she manages because somebody asked me. And at the moment, she manages like £7 million worth of spend a month as a 26-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Well, man, doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking mental.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's amazing.
There are agencies out there that don't manage that much spend.
Yeah.
And she doesn't. It doesn't affect her. She's like, all she thinks about is, right, am I doing it right? Is this pointing to the right result? If it is getting the right result, but the client's not getting the result they expect, what can we do next? And every conversation you and I ever have with her is about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's class. And well, just to take it in a different direction, because it's something we've been talking about back and forth. I say take it in a different direction. I almost feel like we're taking it like 10 degrees this way. Is what's the name of the book? The hospitality book, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Unreasonable Hospitality, and then there's another one, Be Our Guest.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Which I messaged Joel last week or 2 weeks ago, and I said I found my new favorite like internet person in the business space. It's nothing to do with Facebook ads, nothing to do with this, nothing to do with that. He wrote the book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and he just talks about experience and obsessing over the client experience, and it's just like the 6-star experience that we used to always talk about. And Joel's like, yeah, I met him a few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Gadara,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he spoke at one of the VCon conferences I went to, but I'd met him a few years before that at another conference. So when you were talking about 6-star experience, when you first started talking about it maybe 5 years ago, I assumed you'd read that.
No, I read it. I read it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so you came to the same conclusion, but from a different path. And I was like, oh, right. Well, I'm not going to give the game away and tell everyone Neil's just churning out Will Gadara's tactics. Like, it's like, fine, like it's legit. Yeah. And then there's another book called Be Our Guest by Disney Institute, and it's about all the touch points in Disney and how they make every single guest, whether they've got 1 million people in the park that weekend or whether they've got 10, have a brilliant experience, and how all of them will leave feeling like at least one thing that happened to them was special to them. And like, I mean, we're in Florida right now, and we've been to Disney at the weekend, and I was looking for pins of my favourite childhood Disney films, because I was like, well, it's unlikely they're going to have Sword in the Stone and Fox and the Hound, but they did. And then I took them to the till, and the girl was like, nobody's ever bought these pins before. I was like, well, they must have done. But she made me feel really special.
Yeah.
And then she was like talking about her favourite pin on her lanyard, and I'm not like a pin freak. I was just like, cool. And then she was like, is there any you were looking for that you couldn't get? And I was like, well, yeah, actually, I want a Robin Hood one as well. She's like, oh, I've never seen a Robin Hood one, but if you go to Disney Springs on Monday, chances are you'll be able to find one there. And I was just like, you didn't have to do that. And there was a queue, but you made me feel important.
Yeah.
And I was spending $20. I wasn't buying $200 worth of stuff or getting my kid dressed up as a princess or something. And I was like, that's really cool. And if you can do that in your business, and like Martha does it naturally, I think all of our team kind of do it naturally, to be honest. But if you can make people feel really special. So winding back to the Will Gadara book and why I assumed you must have read it, because when I redesigned the office and did the whole client experience in the office and did all the way the chair, even to the way the chairs are spaced and where the quotes are on the wall and the colour scheme and what people see when they sit down, is all from that. And that was the only thing in my head. Like, rather than being like a proud graphic designer and letting my ego get into it, I was like, how do I make the experience of someone walking through the front door to the moment that they sit in a meeting with me be like the best thing that we could possibly afford to give them for free? And like everyone that comes in is like, someone actually in a mastermind the other day, like I'm in this top tier mastermind, and the host of the mastermind was boasting about his office, and this guy called Lofty stands up and said, your office is shit compared to Joel's. He's like, what? He's like, Joel's is the happiest place on earth. And he's like, when I went to Joel's, it was like my name was on the screen, my favourite sweets were on the table, they got my drink in the fridge. I got to try and beat him at pool, which went wrong. And like, it was like, he was like, it's like he thought of everything. He's like, I come into your office, it just looks like you. Well, this is brutal, but that, like, that's the point. It's like, you want people to come in and feel like, oh, this is a space for me.
Mm-hmm. How do you make that scalable? So, like, the experience that you just said for him there is something that would take time, energy, effort.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that.
So if Disney can do it, you can.
Yeah.
And so it's like deciding whether the 45 minutes it takes to prep everything I just described is worth it for a meeting worth X amount. So a sales meeting for me, on average, is going to be worth 25 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially lifetime value of 75 grand. Is it worth me or one of our team spending 45 minutes to prep for that sales meeting? 100%.
Yeah.
If that figure was 5 grand, would it be worth me or one of our team spending 45 minutes to prep for that meeting? 100%. If it was £1,000, probably still.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a high ticket service business, you could probably take that figure all the way back to 500 quid before you start to question that 45 minute timing. And even then, like, maybe there's an apprentice you've got in the team or someone you can employ, and you write the process and give them a Loom tutorial and just be like, right, before anyone ever comes in, an hour before, get the meeting room set up, move the chair like this, move this like this, so when they sit down they look at the screen, and obviously when they look at the screen their name's on the screen, and when they notice their name on the screen then they notice their favourite songs playing on the speaker, and just as they've noticed their favourite songs playing on the speaker, ask them if they'd like a drink, and when you open the fridge make sure it's facing this way, so when the fridge opens it's like their favourite drink pointing at them.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
The interesting thing you said there was about, like, if it was like 75k, if you look at lifetime value on average, then when you work backwards, it's like between the onboarding, so like the acquisition costs,
Yeah.
plus the experience across those 3 years, there's like nothing wrong with like spending like 5k on it and making
Easy.
it ridiculous.
You could spend 10.
Yeah.
And what it is people won't front that in case they don't get the work. But you have to behave like you will get the work.
Yeah.
And then you notice that your conversions will go up. Now, obviously, you won't always get the work, but like, I mean, there's a guy you've recorded a podcast with today, sat here, who behaves like this all the time. He has the self-belief that he's going to get the work, so he behaves like he's going to get the work, and then he gets more work because of that.
Yeah.
Where if you go into it with like scarcity mindset, and you're like, actually, I'm going to try and do this as cheap as I can in case I don't get it, and then I'll make less of a loss. Well, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll only ever attract people with the same mindset then, and they won't be a great client.
Yeah.
So, and truth be told, and there might be a little bit of ego in this, but if the team see you behaving like that, and you see you behaving like that, it's more fun. Just making people feel good is one of the best parts of business. So if they don't buy from you, they're sure as hell tell someone else how great it was.
Yeah.
So
he was also saying in an interview that his retention rate of staff was so much higher than the industry average. He was like, it wasn't even in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
And it was because literally their job, and it wasn't coming out of their own pocket, was to look for opportunities to make people's days or weeks or months or years by just like overhearing one thing and then going and telling the Dreamweaver, I need you to go and get a New York hot dog.
And it's like that meme, the random act of kindness trend. It's like suddenly you're paying people to commit random acts of kindness that makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the best job ever. Sometimes I have to go to the shop and buy someone their favourite sweets.
Yeah.
And then give them, and I get paid to do that. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah. I really hope that we can look at this in like 3 years' time and find a way to like model it and look at like specific, the more that you invest monetary wise, right? They obviously have to be good ideas. It's not just how much money can you throw at the inverted commas problem. But if we could literally see a correlation between the more money that you spend around like experience and making people feel amazing and feel like individuals, Like,
And I think it's that like experiential business is going to become even more important, especially as AI taps into businesses.
that's a great point.
That the more of an experience it is for the person investing in that business, the more likely they are to be a great customer. So you join a marketing agency because you think you want more leads, but you don't. That's not really why you join. You join a marketing agency to take away the pain of trying to grow your business. And you want to grow your business because you want either more money, more time, more freedom. And if during the execution of that, it's actually great fun, and you look forward to seeing Codebreak in your diary, and like every Codebreak meeting is going to be brilliant, and it's going to end with like team beers and a game of pool, or a go on the arcade machine, or like they're going to come on a trip to Florida for the 10 years of Codebreak. Like it can get mental. Like it's got mad for us. It's pretty epic. Like, there were people when we said, "Oh, we're having a client event in Florida," that were like, "How do I become a client? I want a piece of that." So, do you need any help with your ads? No, my ads are great. I just want to come to Florida, and my ad agency doesn't do this.
Yeah.
Oh, all right then, come. Like.
Yeah. Like myself and Ryan were talking the other day about with AI and how it's going to advance. I mean, anybody that thinks like we've hit the pinnacle of it
Not even close. Yeah.
People keep using like the terms of innings and like we're in the first inning, like baseball reference. But I don't think that's far off being completely accurate.
I don't think the batter's even stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, and so we were talking about whether coaching, doing the type of stuff that I do, for instance, and many other people, will coaching actually become an even more expensive service that less people will pay for because they're willing to pay for in person because they know that it isn't just really creative AI that's doing the job.
Exactly that. So this is like the moment the bubble bursts in some senses, because the ones that aren't very good coaches will never be able to get beyond where they are now. Probably the same for all businesses, accountants, solicitors, dentists. But what we'll see is like the ones that are willing to make it an incredible experience, the ones that are willing to connect with you on a human level, the ones that are willing to extract the stuff that AI just can't get yet, will be the ones that win. And the reason I say I don't think the bat has even stepped up to the plate yet, if you're a similar age to me, I'm of an age where when I was first at school they didn't have computers, and then they suddenly had an IT suite, except the teacher didn't know how to turn the computers on. That's where we are now, is like businesses are looking at this stuff and going, oh, I might try a bit of that. Oh, I don't even know how to log in. Or they know how to log in and then they've made a prompt and they think they've cracked it. Whereas like the big boys who've been doing it for 4, 5, 6 years are like character modeling their clients. They know like not just their kids' names and their parents' names, they know their extended family tree, they know what holidays they're going on, they know what car they drive, they know their behaviours, so they know what time of day to serve them what type of advert. And you think because you managed to get ChatGPT to write 3 posts for you that you've cracked AI. And that's still all just scratching the surface. Like today you walked out wearing Meta Ray-Bans with a camera in. There's a reason Meta are releasing that kind of technology, and it isn't because you can make nice content for your Instagram. It's because they're gathering data, and that data goes into an AI algorithm, and they learn more and more about your day and the people in your life's day, and that all goes back in, and it makes it infinitely more valuable for people to then utilize as a paid platform.
Yeah, the new glasses that just came out as well. You can now see stuff.
Yeah, so
like
it's
so
like
if a notification on your phone comes up, it like you see them in the glasses.
On the Oakley ones, yeah.
The Oakleys, yeah.
Yeah, and so like soon you'll be able to live translate someone speaking to you in your line of sight and in the earpiece.
Yeah, which I feel like I thought that would have come in by now with Zoom.
Yeah, but then is Zoom like MySpace? Where like MySpace was like the leading platform that then rested on its laurels. And so Zoom, obviously, massive boom in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of rested on their laurels, and now it wouldn't take much for ChatGPT or Claude or Meta to launch a video platform that's infinitely better than Zoom because they've done all the other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. It's scary where it's going to go. Well, man, I'm going to appreciate you and love you on this note here, because I would actually rather that we do a second podcast.
Yeah.
It's literally all about AI, so we can really lean into some of the stuff that you're doing there, which is absolutely incredible. I love that this podcast has just all ended up being around experience.
Yeah.
And I think it's been eye-opening for me, just bouncing ideas with you. But it's been really eye-opening, I'm sure, for everybody else, especially if they've never read the book that we were talking about, or the 2 books. So I appreciate you as always. Love you. Thanks so much for coming.
Cheers, dude.